Oh, hey, welcome to Springer's Adventure. So today I figured we'd check out, we'll go downtown, give you a little preview of what's getting ready for here for the Biketoberfest. Still a couple days from starting, but I figured we'll drive around, give you a couple pictures, talk about some places to go, things to do, people to see. I've been coming here since 1978, so I got a couple years under my belt. So sit back and enjoy, and I'll talk you through some things. If you have any questions or comments, always leave them below. And let's go. So as you can tell in Florida, especially in October, during Biketoberfest, you never know when it's going to rain. Just when we got ready to go out of there, it started downpouring. Had to wait about 15 minutes, but oh, something just jumped in the water over there. But as in Florida, the weather is always very unpredictable. So leaving out of the Flagler area, I never get tired of this view. I'm sure anybody that rides up and down along the coast, if you're over here, this is probably one of the favorite things that most people love to do. I mean, just driving along A1A, looking over at the Atlantic is a view is to die for. It's always very pretty. This part of the coastline. There's spots that you can pull over. There's a lot of spots that you can't pull over, so always pay attention to the signs. So here we get in the downtown Daytona. Main Street's right up here on the right. If you make a left, end up at the ocean, you make a right. Here we go, downtown Main Street. So again, this is a couple days before everything basically starts here for Biketoberfest. Bikes are already starting to crowd in there. People hitting some of the smaller spots and stuff like that. If you've been out to Sturgis or anything like that, don't expect any big name bands like they have at the resorts and stuff like that out there. Down here, it's mostly just all small bands. Some of them local, some of them not so local. I mean, they do pull in some bigger bands that follow the Bike Fest and stuff like that. It'll come down there, but no ZZ Top, Doobie Brothers, Skinner, or anything like that. So food vendors, all that stuff, pretty much always is the same. Most of them exactly in the same location and everything. So coming up here on the right is Dirty Harry's. They always have a lot of bands. They always have a lot of festivities going on over there on the right. That is Dirty Harry's. On the left-hand side, you got the Full Moon Saloon. They got a stage always set up side for the bands and stuff like that. Right across the street from that is the Blanca Blues Bank. Right here on the right and everything like that, you just got some empty parking lots. I mean, if you were here in the days way past like me and stuff like that, you'll remember that the old Iron Horse, before they moved out to A1A, that was actually downtown. It was in one of these spots. I can't remember exactly where, but it's now a parking spot. So like I said, nothing's really changed much down here in the course of quite a few years. There on the left, you have Main Street Station. They have usually several bands. They usually have one in the front, one in the back. And then, of course, the world's famous Boot Hill Saloon. They'll have bands inside, and they'll have a stage set up out there on the outside. I don't think there it is, the white tent. They haven't got it up yet, so they're just getting ready to get that up. So that's it. I mean, that's pretty much it for Main Street. There's nothing else here at this point. Just keep going straight ahead. You go over the Intercoastal. This is the same waterway that comes from all the way up in St. Augustine. By Point Verda, and then comes all the way and lets out there at the Ponce Inlet. You'll go over this if you go back and forth between the island and stuff, and as you go up along the coast, you'll see this in several spots as well. You get across here, when you come across the bridge, we're going to make a left. You'll have a couple of bike shops. This used to be quite the area back in the day. I mean, actually, even up to probably about 5 years ago, there was still a lot of the vendors are coming over here. Harley would set up a big tent to do their demo rides and all that stuff. You had a bunch of different vendors. Not so much anymore. The only thing left down here is, like I said, you'll have a couple of vendors when we first come up here on the left. I think that's the BMW Triumph little dealership right there on the right. They've been there for a gang of years. But Barney's Leather, I believe, is still up here on the right-hand side. When we make this left right here, you'll see them right there. But that's it. You got the old the Bruce Rossmeyer's Harley before they moved out there on US 1. It's downtown here as well. That has now become the Harley dealership. But unfortunately, the old River Street over here has become a corporate affair. I think all big businesses that big glass building on the right-hand side, Brown and Brown Insurance or something like that. So looks like corporate America decided to take over this street, and they just keep building and knocking down all the old stuff. Kind of sad. But right here on the right-hand side, this is the Indian dealership now. Like I said, that was the old Harley dealership for quite a few years down here. This is the one that took place after the, if you really go back in history, when Robinson's was up here on 192. I remember that from back in the day, the old Harley dealership, which was very small. So we're going to cut back over the bridge. We're going to go back over to Daytona, back over to the island over there. And when you come across here, this is that's a pretty sight right there. You're going over the intercoastal, and then you can see some of the motels along the beach and stuff like that. Always a pretty sight there. The sky was just drop dead gorgeous this morning, as you can tell, as we're going across there. There's a sign where you could drive onto the beach, world's most famous beach. We went down, we went up. This is the little block right before you get to Main Street. This is actually on the water. That's the ocean deck. That's a great place to go grab a bite to eat. It's one of our favorites. It's actually one of the last restaurants right there that's on the beach. You do have Krabby Joe's off to the right. You see that at the end of the pier. I mean, of course, obviously that's on the water. We tend to stay away from the big company restaurants. I always still like the mom and pop ones. So you see all the cop cars here. Look straight ahead. They got somebody pulled over. So can't emphasize enough, if you're down here, don't do anything stupid. Don't go into no burnouts or anything like that. Or make sure you have your glasses on. They have a glass rule down here, so make sure you got your glasses on. Don't go driving down Main Street with your glasses on your head. They will pull you over. Straight ahead right there, that's part of the old boardwalk right there. There's a little bit of it left. They're doing some drag racing on the beach. Oh, wait a minute. Let me digress. That was back from many years ago. I just had to throw that one in there. That's when it was a lot of fun back in the 70s and stuff. Used to be able to do that. So, you know, I think the first time down here in 1978 when I came down here with a couple of buddies of mine. We actually we slept on the beach out there. You know, we'd enjoy the festivities and riding around town and taking rides, and then we'd come out, and that's where we'd crash. You crashed out on the beach for the night. Again, can't do that anymore. So, but oh well. So we're gonna head back over, and we're gonna go across the intercoastal off of Seabreeze there. You know, while you're down this way, don't forget you also, Billy Lane has the Sons of Speed down in New Smyrna going on. I think it's this Saturday, board track racing. That's a lot of fun. I highly recommend that. You do have the races going over at the racetrack, and then over the racetrack is where a lot of the vendors are now. That's where all your the import bike stuff is. I think even Harley has their tent set up over there now in Indian as well, as if you want to take any rides and stuff like that. So there's still stuff going on over that area. We're going to go down along the intercoastal. This is basically the start of the trail. So you basically, when you come across Seabreeze, hang a right. This is the road you're going to start, and I mean, everybody starts the trail probably closer up to Ormond, but you can start it right there, and then you just basically comes up right along the intercoastal right there. It is like 25 miles an hour, so be there. While you're also down in Ormond, don't forget, if you don't want the $5 cheap beers, you have Ormond Brewery. They're off of Division Street. Great place to go. As you're heading back up A1A, one of our favorite spots to eat is the High Tides Snack Jacks. You'll see that right there. In Flagler, they have another little brewing company, Coquina Coast. They're really good. Go all the way up to St. Augustine. Our favorites up there is Bog Brewing and Old Coast Ales. Two great breweries up in there. So I can't emphasize enough. If you get a chance to go through the trail, try to hit it right at dusk. The views of the sunsets are just phenomenal. The way the sun just glows over top of the marsh and over the intercoastal, it's really, really pretty. You'll really enjoy it. I've seen, I think in that first photo, you'll see some fish jumping and all the good things, so it's really a sight to see. So, well, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it gave you some ideas, some places to go, some little breweries, a couple little restaurants you might want to give it a shot that you might not have ever tried before. So be safe and enjoy. Thanks for tooling around with us. Again, if you have any questions or comments, shoot them below. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe. Thanks so much, and we'll see you out on the road.